Disney, forcing your already overworked animators to create a bespoke Sherman minus Peabody DreamWorks logo when a still picture of the Fisher Boy on the moon for 5 seconds would have done the damn job just fine.
Our story begins high over New York City in the luxurious penthouse apartment.
You say luxury apartment, and I say ridiculous waste of space with an entire wing dedicated to a baby mobile-inspired art piece.
Oh, sorry, you caught me doing my yoga.
Upside downward dog oration. For some reason, all these children are allowed to go up to new-to-them dogs and pick them up without any adults objecting. Kids, take it from me. Do not handle dogs until you know them very well. Also, why the f*** are you even watching this channel? Go watch Bluey, you monsters.
Come back, throw the stick. I'll stay, I'll heal, I'll even shake hands.
But will you get rid of the creepy mouthful of human incisors? At least grow a few canines, will ya? They're literally named after you. Also, Peabody is smart enough to know that the children want normal dogs. If he wanted to be adopted, he would have faked being a dumb dog by now. So I'm not buying this sudden desperate demand for acceptance. Peabody dedicated himself to knowledge, culture, and athletics. So to be clear, repetitively fetching a stick was not okay, but repeatedly bouncing a ball is totally fine.
I pioneered new techniques in alternative energy.
It takes us less than 3 minutes to get to the movie's first fart joke, and I think that's a record even for DreamWorks. But also, this is a highly inefficient way to transfer fuel. There's no way I'm pulling into a cow gas station and trying to get Bessie's anus hooked up to my car every time I need a fill-up.
Have you told them about the way back?
Why are they both aware of me, and where does this moment fall in the timeline of the rest of the movie? So Sherman is highly prepared for life, but still presses the elevator button repeatedly like an asshole.
Of course, time travel can be a bit unpredictable.
I wish I could time travel to the time when we are finally done with this fourth wall-breaking expositional narration fest. Remember when movies actually movied? Also, this movie should have been called Dog to Who, and I will hear no further feedback on this matter.
Home of Marie Antoinette. You know, she was mostly famous for one thing.
Cake!
Being famous for cake, but hiding it under a hoop skirt. I may have misunderstood.
Marie was a woman with a prodigious appetite for all things covered with frosting.
Thinking frosting works on all food. I mean, I have a former friend who dips his Doritos in frosting who might disagree, but there's a reason he is a former friend.
Sherman?
Calling for your son into an active stove as if he somehow went in there and would still be able to respond when called on.
Don't you remember why I told you to stay close to me during the French Revolution?
Having this conversation right now instead of getting the hell out of there. So they rounded up the dog for a beheading, but let the cake-eating kid just go free? Being a revolutionary must be so confusing some days. This calculation is fine, but how would he know that the manhole would rotate around and let him fall into the massive sewer system like this? Better question, should I have my groceries delivered or go to the grocery store in person? I know it's an entirely unrelated question to the movie, but I'm already checked out and thinking about the next thing.
Oh, this water tastes terrible!
Interestingly, that's not water.
You see, the joke is that the kid drank sewage. I wonder sometimes if kids' movies know that laughter and dry heaving aren't the same thing.
All right, Sherman. Looks like it's time for a little pop quiz in the art of fencing.
No questions are asked or grades given out for this supposed pop quiz. I guess the manhole is large enough to cover the hole and also small enough to fall down the hole while simultaneously being light enough to be moved directly upward by a flung sword and heavy enough to knock a man unconscious. This manhole is a mystery. Super good luck that the lightly pierced wooden wall containing enough water to dispel their enemies and propel our heroes through the tunnels with such force they were able to surf the methane-filled underground in a way that would light sparks hot enough to ignite an explosion that would rocket them through fire and out a hole hundreds of feet in the air at ridiculous speeds without somehow killing them. Super good luck. This sucker machine that knows it only needs the dress-up clothing to be removed instead of all the clothing. Using present day as if it means anything. Is it 2024? Is it when the movie was written? When that text was produced? When the movie released? Now, when someone asks me when Mr. Peabody and Sherman takes place, I will not have an answer. How are any of us supposed to go about our normal daily routine without this information? This mostly glass bus, aka the inevitable Shard Express.
Looks like someone really knows their history, huh, Penny?
What the f***? Did that teacher just shame Penny for not knowing as much as Sherman? I guess there's a reason her students give her apples. That little girl gave you the exact answer that you also thought was correct, you plot-inciting bastard.
Your dad's a dog, so you're a dog too.
You know what the movie didn't cover in its opening 5-minute narration-a-thon? How everyone in this universe, past and present, knows and accepts that Sherman's dad is a talking dog named Mr. Peabody. It's like the Paddington Principle, except in a movie that sucks. Whatever the f*** that pile of horrendous dog shit is.
Come on, Sherman, beg!
This bullying has been Stephen Kinging loudly and publicly in this lunchroom for over 2 minutes now, and not a single adult or legal guardian animal is anywhere to be seen. The sheer amount of diplomas and accolades displayed on this wall is ridiculous. I think someone may be overcompensating.
What on earth provoked it?
She called me a dog.
No, that's the part of it that's relevant to Mr. Peabody's plot motivations. You were fine when she called you a dog. It was disregard for personal property and the chokehold that really made the difference. Also, Sherman is in bed, the sun is gone. Why would anyone wait this long to get his side of the story? Animated movie uses a picture to morph into an expositional and/or emotional montage over a sappy song in order to get the runtime to 90 minutes cliche. Also, this memory montage highlights a series of adventures that only prove Mr. Peabody has placed his child in serious danger over and over and over and over. P&S go back in time and use their foreknowledge of events to catch this Jackie Robinson home run, probably to sell it on eBay. And have we learned nothing from Back to the Future 2? Bringing Prince of Egypt into this Sherman was abandoned, but only after receiving a thorough eye exam and being prescribed corrective lenses before the age of 1.
If a boy can adopt a dog, I see no reason why a dog cannot adopt a boy.
A boy cannot legally adopt a dog. The final line of this article paragraph says, offering his many accomplishments as proof he is well-educated canine. And the sentence missing its A is proof that J.J. Riordan is not well-educated human. Also, this newspaper from July 20th has an above-the-fold front-page article about getting into the holiday spirit. Considering there's not another major holiday until Labor Day in September, I have to wonder why this paper is so gung-ho about Parents' Day. Also, the paper is from 2006, and since this movie is set in present day, I can only assume that Sherman is 18 now and somehow still in elementary school, not waiting to do this impressive choppy thing until the guests arrive and can be truly impressed.
Just a little Dungeness crab with a passion fruit basil concassé, some truffled quails and a juniper berry reduction, and baked Alaska.
Mr. Peabody isn't my personal chef in this scene, stirring the meringue in such a way that your hairy fingers dip into the mix.
Everything going swimmingly?
Mr. Peabody's first question should be, why are you two closed in this dark room with no supervision?
Every great relationship starts from a place of conflict and evolves into something richer.
Wait, every great relationship? That's just not true. I have great relationships that started in a variety of ways, including, but not limited to, a matched sense of humor, mutual physical attraction, or a shared hatred of the fact that they kept making New Year's number glasses after 2009.
Sitar, steel drums, trombone, xylophone, djembe, calliope.
Oh, thank God this asshole father asked for a series of musical numbers so we could have further proof that Mr. Peabody is better than all of us.
Oboe, piccolo, tuba, dobro, slide whistle, yodeling, hurdy-gurdy, ocarina, harmonium, musical song. You know what? This has been great,
It has not.
but a complete waste of time.
Fair. Also, and most importantly, why did all of the different versions of Mr. Peabody stop like they'd all been interrupted at the same time? Was this some sort of multiversal situation that Penny's folks were just completely unaffected by?
I'm a licensed chiropractor.
This, and this works.
He calls it the Wayback.
Wayback is an acronym for Wormhole Activation and Bridging Automatic Computer, but WABAC really looks like it should be pronounced Wabak. If nothing else, be consistent with the A sound and call it Waybake, as in, I'd have to be way baked to enjoy any of this movie. Also, you completely dropped the and out of the acronym, which should have made it WAABAK, which ironically would look more like it should be pronounced way back.
Mr. Peabody says you should never use the Wayback to travel to a time when you existed.
How come?
There'd be two of you.
Oh, so they do have some time travel rules. I was beginning to question their time travel respect when I saw them both with the timeline over and over again in that earlier memory montage.
Mr. Peabody says I'm not allowed to drive it till I'm older.
Saying this, but not installing any security measures on this door, this platform, the machine's entry, or takeoff sequence. Not using this giant-ass room for anything. Sure, there's minimalist home decor, but this seems more like we really didn't want to animate any more furniture.
She could be here, or here, or here, or here, or here.
Mr. Peabody is a dangerous criminal. Convince me otherwise, and I'll give a sin back later.
Precious, perhaps, but if you think we're going to leave you here, you are most definitely in denial.
I don't get it.
Then why are you laughing? At least last time, Peebs gave you a wink-wink look. This time, he just delivered that line straight, so you should have no clue that it was supposed to be a joke.
Can't marry this guy?
Why not?
Well, for one, his name rhymes with butt.
Ad hominem fallacies.
When I die, they'll kill you too. And then they'll rip out your organs, stuff them in canopic jars, and then mummify whatever's left.
Okay, I'm seeing this now. Thank you.
Getting your wig snatched by your fiancé, but in a bad way.
These tombs are lined with hieroglyphics designed to assist the pharaoh's souls in their journey to the afterlife. and they may assist us as well.
Right, if you can read them, there's a more confident chance Sherman would interpret something like this as a group of Halloween characters arguing over whether or not to return to shore after an ugly seagull landed on their boat.
Oh, this depicts the god Anubis sailing the boat of Ra to the underworld. It appears the boats of Ra are the key to our escape.
Conveniently jumping to correct conclusions based on the first picture you see on a wall is convenient.
They deserve each other.
Wishing death upon a schoolmate.
It's not like I want to hold her hand or go to the park or watch her while she's brushing her hair.
What's with the disapproving look, Mr. P? We don't stand for hair kink shaming around here.
Aha.
That was easy.
Do the puzzle exactly as I did.
I won't give you any further instructions or anything. I just need you to remember what I just did exactly, even though I gave you no warning to pay attention. Get it? It came out of the butt. It's hilarious. In fairness, I guess it's like my mom always said. You can't spell Anubis without a good bye through the anus. Sorry, I know I really stretched for that one.
We pay tribute to the sun god Ra!
Wait!
Deus Ex, this handmade megaphone should not have this level of amplification or reverb in it.
But it's too late! We've already paid for the catering!
I forget, is purposeful anachronism hilarious or a sin? Well, I'm not laughing, so...
Runaway Bride!
Mona Lisa, smile! My best friend's wedding! Sorry, I thought we were yelling out beloved Julia Roberts movies that actually suck. Pretty Woman! It sure is convenient that these three individuals launch at the same velocity and arc perfectly into the same cart with just enough room between each other to not crack heads or break bones.
We've got to get back to the dinner party before Penny's parents realize she's missing.
You are in a time machine! You do not have to worry about how much time passes before you arrive at exactly the time you decide to arrive!
Because I'm sitting here all day on my abundanza!
I don't think that means share in Italian.
It doesn't. Technically means abundance, but more important question is, am I now to believe that they're speaking English and also occasionally using Italian words? I was fine with just suspending my language disbelief and letting everyone speak American, but then you had to go and throw in actual Italian and my babblefish is getting confused.
She won't even smile.
Asking a woman to smile for the camera, the painting, or really any time. Hell, asking anyone to smile. No one should smile. Ever.
Using algorithms, we can extrapolate what is universally considered funny, thus producing a formula that is scientifically certain to cause laughter.
Is the formula 53 plus 16 over 20 times 21 to the power of negative 5,318,008? Because that would fit this movie just fine.
Hold it right there! No move! No move!
She then does not hold the perfect smile and relaxes into the disappointing grin we know.
If my calculations are correct, this machine of ours should generate enough centrifugal force to send us home.
Wait, your fuel is centrifugal force? Traveling through time is just a natural result of physical motion? That makes about as much sense as me charging my phone by throwing it out the window.
He's a boy, Peabody. Let him have his fun.
Using the boys will be boys argument.
I'm serious, Penny! I don't know how to fly!
And considering this is a prototype from 1508 with no instructions included, neither should she. What you both should be proficient at by this point is dying.
I'm flying!
But Sherman, you don't know how to fly!
I don't?
Making someone lose a skill just because you make them doubt they have it, aka Matthew 14ing someone. Starship axioming yourself across a room when you could just stand up and walk over, effectively saving the human race from malforming into mushy pod people.
What's happening?
The writers decided that we needed more examples of how terrible a father Mr. Peabody is and gave us a black hole in space with which to punctuate that fact.
There's not enough power to resist the gravitational pull!
Oh no, wherever will we find some more centrifugal force at this time of day? Having 4 people drop out of the butt of the horse, even though only one will go knock on the door because the priority isn't logic, it's poop jokes. Also, it appears that they've been teleported to an alternate reality where the Trojan Horse was not a myth, but instead was part of reality. Great. I am now even less excited about the outcome of this story.
Are you ready to get on the field, Shermanis?
I see that Sherman survived the crash, woke up, and left his unconscious and possibly dead father and friend behind to run off into the night and join a f***ing war party, so prepared to murder their enemy that they came with tiny spare armor. Neat. How is Odysseus standing outside the hatch door? The other guards had to shimmy up a rope. Is he both a myth and a hovercraft?
Jeez Louise, what is that spell?
Ball sweat. Stacks and stacks of ball sweat.
FYI, a lot of heroes have father issues.
Tell me about it. This movie is a kid's movie with a time-traveling dog in it and still somehow managed to be about daddy issues. Parodying Zack Snyder when he's already doing a pretty decent job at doing that himself. Okay, fine, the math here checks out, but when the f*** did you have time or ability to measure the radius of the wheel or count how many times it's revolving every minute? And fine, I lied, I didn't check the math, I hate math, but I know you're pulling these numbers out of horses' ass either way. And now we're checking Peabody's bona fides and lassoing, except considering it's present day, he hasn't placed in a single event in 14 years. And now Peabody is calculating the length of rope needed to stop the horse, which, fine, I guess. And it's not calculating time I'm worried about, it's the measuring time. How are you going to measure that rope to that exact length in the next few seconds? I didn't see that in your calculations anywhere, Mr. Smarty Pop. My point again is death. Everyone is dead. The end.
We've got a time machine, Penny. I can set it so that we'll get home when Mr. Peabody is still there.
We finally arrived at the moment when the time travel movie admits there are zero stakes and nothing matters because time machine equals God mode. Of course, as far as they know, this universe's Mr. Peabody's mangled corpse is now strewn across the rocks of ancient Troy, but fine. Go do the yada yada time travel dance.
To the kids.
To the kids.
Kids. At this exact moment in the previous timeline, the first Sherman was whispering to Mr. Peabody from the exact position having just returned from losing Penny in Egypt. So where is that Sherman now?
Toga party?
Yes, it is a toga party!
The scene does not actually contain a toga party.
Sherman, I've got to get you out of here before you touch yourself.
We got masturbation jokes in a kids movie, y'all.
I've seen quite enough to remove the both boys, from this home.
Yeah, movie. F those kids up with the fear that they could be taken away from their parents if they bite a kid and have a twin. F them all the way up.
Hey, where'd the other two go?
Our cosmic doubles combined in order to reconcile a paradox in the space-time continuum.
Oh.
I don't know what just happened here, but I know it was wrong!
Me sitting this movie's use of the space-time continuum somehow makes it into the script. Oh, sure, when I call the police about being bitten by a dog, they tell me to call animal control. But here, they appear to be close enough to just ride the elevator up a couple flights.
Looks like the past is coming to us.
A very selective group of people from the past that want to make a cameo. Wormholes, man. How do they work?
What?
Why is she smiling at this? That kid just plummeted to his death along with the previous pals from the past. Sherman is a murderer. This Trojan horse will fall with such force that it ruptures the pavement and obliterates itself. But again, the humans who fall out of the hole all survive. And the movie will make zero effort at comforting my disbelief's now apoplectic suspension. How and why does Einstein already have a fucking Rubik's Cube?
Don't tase me, bro.
Says the man with no idea what tasing is.
What kind of a father could this dog ever be to a boy?
It really is a bold choice to have your villain's primary flaw be not wanting animals to be allowed to parent children. Someday when this movie's on the wrong side of history, I hope the wake-up call hits with force.
I'm a dog too! I'm a dog too!
I'm a dog too!
No one chants bark, bark, bark in this scene.
I'm Spartacus.
Hitting us over the head with your reference because you were afraid we didn't get it when it was happening.
But you can't change the law.
I know someone who can.
George Washington.
How do they know this is the real George? How does anyone think he can change the law at any point in time without going through the proper legal process? What is this fucking movie doing? Also, how did she know that George was going to step forward at that exact moment?
I've done worse.
Too soon, movie. Too soon. Ah! Sci-fi space sphincters. The shit that keeps on shitting.
If we set the way back for the future and go very, very fast, we'll create our own gravitational field that's equal and opposite to the rip in the space-time continuum!
I mean, honestly, you could have just played the Peanuts adult voice noise over this explanation and it would have made as much sense.
I need to reprogram the way back.
All right, Mr. Peabody.
That means you have to drive.
A single father has to learn to trust that his adventurous son can do things on his own and let him go. Is every animated movie just Finding Nemo now? And if so, why isn't this one called Mr. Peabody, Sherman, 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney, Australia?
Are you ready, Sherman?
I'm ready.
Says the kid that is currently not looking at where he is driving. This pavement stays damaged as the Sphinx nose rises, but just seconds ago we saw the Trojan Horse put the road back together when it left.
Runyon is mine.
Assault and kidnapping. Also, the space-time continuum continues its capriciousness by putting everything back where it goes except the villain who apparently has a space-time all-access pass.
Yes, Mr. Peabody?
I love...
Skip.
No doubt about it. Every dog should have a boy.
Limiting animal parenting rights to a single gender of child. Also assuming everyone should have a kid just because you're somehow enjoying it. So they can't exist with their past selves or they'll merge together and create a rift. But people in the past can have knowledge and items from the future and that doesn't f the timeline? Got it. Also, Clytemnestra will probably have something to say about this.
You go in the hole.
Time travel can be a bit unpredictable.
I don't want to talk about time travel shit. Because if we start talking about it, then we're going to be here all day talking about it, making diagrams with straws.
It's a scandal! It's an outrage! The beast will make off with your children. He'll come after them in the night. No. We're not safe till his head is mounted on my wall. I say we kill the beast!
What is it? A whistle?
I hope I've made myself clear.
Crystal.
Where's Penny?
Playing hide and seek.
Pooping?
Pooping.
Playing hide and seek?
Poop. It was poop.
I got it.
Bad dates.
Put it also straight pay.
Oh my.
But in the Latin alphabet, Jehovah begins with an I.
What are you doing up there?
I'm flying!
But Sherman, you don't know how to fly.
You think you can do these things, but you can't, Nemo!
Yeah, tell me about it. No, it's not you. She's not the easiest person to get close to.
Mr. Peabody!
Look, I don't mean to be rude, but this is not as easy as it looks, so I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't distract me.
Yes, what is it, Sherman?
Why not go to the future?
The future, Conan?